Okay guys, I'm going to do a quick demonstration on how to create your mandala. So if you take a look at your mandala link on Canvas, all of your instructions are right here. You've got your video, a couple of videos here you can use as reference, and then these are all student examples. Students did this the year before last. So really nice work here. So let's go on over to Illustrator. And if you look on your rubric, I give you the specific measurements that you're supposed to create your document, which is 8 by 8. So I'm going to start by going to File, New. Okay, and we're going to create our document, make it 8 by 8 inches, and hit Create. The next thing we want to do is we want to show our rulers so we can create guides on here. So we're going to go to View, Rulers, Show Rulers. So I've got my measurements up here where I can see on my rulers. Now I'm ready to click inside the ruler and create guides that are 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so if you guys blow up, you can see how this one looks slightly off. If you blow up on it, okay, so this is 8 by 8. I told you guys that the guide here is slightly off, so I'm going to use my selection tool and see if I can grab it and move it over. I can't grab it right now, which means my guides are locked. So I'm going to go to View and then Guides and Unlock Guides, and now I should be able to grab it and move it over and make it right at 4 inches. And let's check my horizontal guide to make sure it's okay too. And it's pretty close, so. Okay, so to start with, you need to make a shape, a random shape. That shape is up to you. It can be perfect and exact or not. So, I'm going to start with just a regular ellipse, and then I'm going to just click once on my artboard and get that first ellipse centered up. I'm just going to make it 1 by 1. And hit OK. So I've got a 1 by 1. Move that over. Okay, so the next thing I'm ready to do, I want to give this a stroke so you can actually see it. Don't worry about colors right now. You can go back and change colors, change the fill, do all of that. So I'm going to take this object, and now I'm ready to rotate it around my center point to get going. So we're going to make sure your object is selected. I'm going to click once on the rotation tool, and here's where we play. I'm going to hit Alt and click once on the center of my object. The percentage that I need to put in here for angle, we're going to experiment with. So I'm going to start with making it 20% and then hit Copy. And then let's see what happens if I take this around. So we're going to go to Object, Transform, Object, Transform, Transform again, and then hit Control D. And it rotates around pretty nicely. So I can start with that. I can undo. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. I can give it a little bit more. So let's try and rotate it now. I'm going to hit Alt and click once in the center. Let's try 30% and hit Copy. So there's no overlap. And then Control D. And just leave it like that if you want to leave it like that. Okay? So Control Z, let's say I don't like it. Let's alter this circle a little bit and have a little bit more of an interesting object. Let's blow it up. And I can take this particular anchor point. Let's make it a corner point. We can use our Convert tool and make it a corner point. Maybe bring it down a little bit. Oops, I'll use my regular selection tool to bring it down. My direct selection tool. Let's change this anchor point too. So I'm going to convert this anchor point, make it a corner point, and then bring it up. I'm not saying that this is the exact object that you need to make. I'm just making it a little more interesting than a regular circle. So I have this. I need to use my selection tool to select this object. Then use that rotation tool. Press and hold Alt, click in the center, and then choose my angle. I'll choose 30% and copy, and then Control D. So that's a little prettier than just a regular circle. Okay? So what to draw next? It's kind of up to you. You can do another ellipse, and I'm going to hit Shift and Alt and drag out from the center. I can actually cut these circles off a little bit. Let go. Once again, I'm going to do another circle. So Shift and Alt. You don't have to make these circles. You could have squares if you wanted. Okay, so let's say if I wanted a square or a polygon, a star, you can do whatever you wanted. Maybe rotate this. All right, so the other thing that I'd like to see you guys play with is I'd like to see you play with the stroke. So I'm going to click on this object and select it. And then some of you are familiar with the fact that you can alter the appearance of the stroke. So let's go to this, you've got it here, but we're going to go to the stroke panel. We're going to go to View, or I'm sorry, Window, and then go to Stroke. And here's your stroke panel. So if you click on your profile, you can see that this stroke is uniform on here. You can select different types of stroke. This is one that I'll use quite a bit. So let's blow up on this so you can actually see it a little better and what we're going to do. We're going to click on that square, that rectangle, and then alter the appearance of the stroke. We can click here, and then let's deselect. And you can see that the stroke is getting lighter, and then it kind of goes darker. Let's go ahead and select this again. You can have all different kinds of strokes in here, and you can also upload other ones that are over here. Okay, you can upload new options. So this one's a little less uniform. I kind of like that one. Let's make the width bigger so you can see it. All right, so we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you another tool that you guys can use, and that's the paintbrush tool. We're going to start with, let me go ahead and select all of my objects on here, and we're going to hide them. And then we're going to, actually let's lock our guides. Show all, and then we're going to lock the guides. Then we're going to select it all, and then hide our selection. Okay, so we still have our guides on here. So the next thing I'm going to do is click on my paintbrush tool. And we're going to go to View, Window. We're going to go to Window and then click on Brushes so you can see your brushes panel. And then I'm going to just do a random brush stroke on here. Okay, so just a random brush stroke, and you can see that my brush kind of evened out. And then we can select this brush. You can click over here and you can select a different type of brush. Okay, I can have it be a little bit more at an angle, which is a little bit more of a calligraphic type brush. Once you have that brush created, we can take this brush and we can rotate it around the center of your object. So I'm going to select that brush path, and this is obviously an object that you're not going to be able to fill in. And then we're going to click on our rotation tool, press and hold Alt, click in the center of your document, and we can go ahead and rotate this around. I'm going to rotate it 20 and hit copy, and then Control D. And so here's where you can come up with something a little more organic. So that can be a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to see how this brush relates to the rest of our objects. We can go ahead and go to Object, Show All, and so this is where we're at. I'm going to show you guys on the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to do gradients and fill things in with color, but this is a basic on how to get started.